to episode 7 of the IamDJKast. This week, we're not going to actually do... We did have topics, right? And then I decided to scratch one of them, which was Pokemon Snap, because I'm literally the only one out of all of us that have played it. So, the quick idea was, we're just going to sit here and just chat shit for an hour or two. Great. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.
Well on board.
That went fucking well. So what was it? We was literally just talking about something. That guy, your mate with he don't eat.
Yeah.
Fucking, he eats the crust first on a pizza.
So it's the weirdest eating habit possible. Is the fact that when he gets a pizza slice, instead of doing normal, like just grabbing it and then nom crust last, he eats the crust first, and it's so fundamentally wrong because one, the crust acts as a handle, right? So at that point you can eat it safely, and then your fingers get, might be a bit of grease in the crust, but we can work around that. But ultimately they're gonna be fine, and then you can just plow down, and then you've got the crust at the end. Everyone's happy. Yeah. But no, he reckons the fact that you can eat the crust first gets the worst bit out of the way. Like that's some sort of achievement.
I see his logic because that first initial bite of the corner piece of the pizza is the best bit because that's where all the toppings are, like where they've been crammed in on the middle, and that's the best bit. But that's just a fat fucking mess because as you're holding it, half of it's all going to fall off anyway. Your crust is your support, innit? Whether it's thin crust or deep pan. Yeah. And then if it's a stuffed crust, that's the best bit till last.
Yeah, stuffed crusts are nice.
Or garlic crust.
Bloody.
Hot dog crust is the best.
I was about to talk about that.
No, and I really
shit.
Never had stuffed crust before.
What?
You've missed out, mate.
You're missing out. Get one like tomorrow.
The only pizzas I eat is from my homemade. So maybe I could ask my parents.
Yeah. Get them to start stuffing their. Yeah, I'm sure they'll just get a giant cheese string, wrap it around. You'll be laughing.
We don't have cheese string.
How would you get a cheese string that's long enough for a pizza?
You can
get like full segment.
You can if you dream, Dan. All right.
Probably good.
I mean, can you just put some what's called
multiple cheese strings as well? Sorry.
Well, I have seen. Actually, what we can mention is, have you seen that debate on social media of the caterpillar birthday cakes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where basically, Marks and Spencers are suing Aldi for having the same caterpillar cake because they're copying Marks and Spencers. So I was watching Syndicate's vlog, and that's where I learnt about it. So he went round to every single supermarket possible and bought a caterpillar cake. They all had different names, and they taste tested them and see which one was the best one. And a lot of them are the same. Like, for example, Sainsbury's and Co-op have the same face mould and feet mould. They're almost the same cake, but Sainsbury's has a crazy thing. They have the normal caterpillar cake that's like that big. Then they have a super caterpillar cake that's like this fucking big.
Oh, it's got a little cake on it and everything.
It's fucking huge. So when you said about giant cheese strings, that's what reminded me because of the fucking caterpillar off. So Aldi don't have any caterpillars in because people are supporting Aldi by buying them all and they're out of stock because you can't get them. But Marks and Spencer's trying to sue them, even though every other fucking supermarket branch is selling caterpillar cakes.
Surely they should sue everyone else then, in that case.
But it's gonna get expensive real quick. It's gonna be expensive.
At the end of the day, I know franchises flipping argue over shit, but it's a bloody cake at the end of the day. It doesn't take that much to make a flipping unique cake, does it?
I hate to break the illusion as well. Most supermarkets for stuff like that. So let's say like Sainsbury's own brand Rice Krispies and Aldi's own, they're all from the same factory, people.
Yeah.
They're literally, because you think
Penguins,
that they've got like
chocolate bars, they're the big, they're one, and like beans as well.
Yeah, they're all from the same thing, because you think that those 4 separate companies could realistically, it's not like they couldn't afford it, but do you think that they would justify making 4 separate factories to make these Rice Krispies? Or just one factory that does it all, and then they just palm it off to each and every one. They're all the same shit most of the time, genuinely.
Because those supermarkets will have basically like a contract or some shit with that that factory that makes that fucking product.
I think it was something with an American brand, know which, or what to read on it. I think it has a know which, but apparently it has quote unquote, what's it called again? Homemade, well, stuff made for the company. Turns out they just rebranding.
Yeah, that's all they do is just change the packaging. And it's the same fucking shit. Even if you taste test it, it's the same fucking shit.
I think it got revealed when a bunch of products got recalled since. Yeah, I think it's on public record.
Because you've got a question as well. Do you know when you see the like? I always see it all the time when you see the handcrafted cards in like Clintons and stuff like that. You're like, fuck off! Are they handcrafted? I mean, you've got some 8-year-old Taiwanese kid plugging them on. That's all you've got, mate. That's not handcrafted. Jesus. Yeah, it's such bollocks at times. Like for sure. I imagine like half the stuff of like, do you know when you see like free range that costs like 8 times the amount? It's probably bollocks, realistically.
Yeah.
Probably not that much of a difference in terms of living conditions. But they just obviously get like the minimum standards. They just like try and meet that as much as they can and then go from there.
Really, because if they meet the minimum standards, they don't have to spend much money trying to uphold those standards that they already have. Really. So,
can I ask a question like completely off related? Why do you think that? Like, what, for example, obviously you guys are all big Pokemon fans. Why didn't you buy Snap? Just out of interest. I know.
I
obviously,
don't have a Switch.
Oh, okay.
No, the problem, the gameplay. May not like the gameplay, but that's pretty much the only reason that I get it.
For me, it's just I couldn't afford it yet. I am gonna get it. It's just I gotta get it later when I can.
I don't have a Switch, so I can't. There's literally no point in me buying it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Do you think it's worth the 50 quid, Dan, that you paid for it? Do you think you got your money's worth?
Yes and no. Now I'm out of honeymoon period. I'm saying yes because it was an amazing, amazing gaming experience. It was such a good. It was so much more than what I thought it was going to be. But for me, the reason I'm saying no is there's not a lot of replayability afterwards. Like, I don't play it anymore. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also not a whole lot of replayability, like say to going on an actual safari. Like if you went and visited, like say, an island or something like that. Like you actually went off to a new island and you got a chance to go on like this little fucking drive-through and explore all of this island. And it's like, all right, cool. That was an amazing vacation. You're gonna go home. There's a good chance you're not gonna go back to that place on vacation. But would you still pay 50 quid to go on that vacation?
I'm so lost here, champ. I'll be honest.
No, I'm with him. I'm actually with him. No,
really?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
No, because but it's so different. Because like going to a zoo, for example, I'm gonna go for that and like a zoo as an example.
Yeah, go for the zoo. Yep.
You're going 40 quid. You get to see all of these, animals and whatnot. Blah blah blah.
Take your pictures and that.
Yeah, but the difference is that like that's a real life encounter. That's actual things in front of you. This is pixels at the end of the day. Like you're meant to make a game out of it. The whole point is the zoo is whatever the animals in front of you do naturally of their own accord because they're living human things.
I think what he's trying to say is every time you go, you're going to get kind of the same experience. If you go multiple times, you're pretty much going to get the same experience.
Yeah. There's that, but the point I was gonna say was like you said, no, like would you pay the 50 quid just to go to the zoo for that fucking weekend? And like, all right, there's my weekend trip to the zoo paid for. I'm gonna go in, take all the pictures I want, fucking blah blah blah. If say for that, right? You pay 50 quid to go to the zoo. Why not pay 50 quid as a Pokemon fan to go to a Pokemon zoo and take you pictures of your Pokemon the way you wants to have the Pokemon look and see them in like their natural habitats interacting the way that they would, as opposed to Pokemon Sword and Shield or even like the handheld versions of the games where like you just get static in-grass encounters and the only time you see the Pokemon is in a battle setting. You don't see them living their lives, right? Like,
But the
Spun
point
his
is
face that
that
whole time.
nah, but the difference is that one's a game like a zoo is confound to the boundaries of we've got all these animals in one place, yeah, and like the animals they're gonna do whatever they want to do, and you're gonna come and visit. You're gonna go see them because you can't see them in real life, yeah. But Pokemon Snap's a game. Like the whole point is that you can do like you. The game shouldn't just be that you can, you know, as you said, see all these pictures, but then you get bored in 2 days. A game should be able to go over and over again. You know what I mean? Do it again. Have fun. I mean, carry on, try again, you know, get different stuff, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that, for example, Dan's not playing it after a couple of days and obviously enjoying the experience during that is in no way denying that. But it just feels like you see other games that kind of do vaguely similar things in terms of like Animal Crossing, for example. They're all fairly like mundane things that you're doing. None of them is like, you know, groundbreaking stuff. It's a little
they're all
grindy
very
game.
one and done games.
Yeah, exactly. But the whole point is that a game like Animal Crossing is like making you come back to it. You know, there's people that play it for like since it's come out, and they're okay with that because you know it's building a town and whatnot and doing all the little things every day. Like it's quite cool, but it feels like Snap's just like you get through the playthrough, and then it doesn't feel like many people are doing quote unquote an end game or past that, which just feels a bit of a shame considering it's, as you said, so cool the initial experience.
Thousands of us Snap fans or Pokemon fans in general are hoping on, and it's got potential for it, DLC, and we're hoping and we wanted shinies because then if you add shinies in it, that changes everything. Because it does add the replayability if they give you like a shiny dex.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to want to hunt the shinies and get your amazing pictures of the shinies. A lot of people will strive towards that if they're that big of fans.
Yep.
The hardcore fans will go for it, whereas some of the casual ones probably won't.
Hey, you know what DLC I'd like to see?
What?
OG Island.
Yes.
Fucking you go back to the original N64 Island with the new graphics.
Almost a remastered.
Isn't that a fundamental flaw though? The fact that you're waiting for a DLC for a 50 quid game that you just spent. Do you know what I mean? Like you've just spent £50 on this game, and you're like, well, let's hope for the DLC to make it a bit better.
Yeah.
No, it should be a
DLC that they'll probably charge us for as well.
Yeah, it should be a polished, finished article now. I don't know. Sorry, Link.
No, probably on 20, 30 quid as well. So much
probably will be
in the game. Very much, yeah. That depends also. I'm pretty sure there will be DLC, seeing how Sword and Shield got DLC.
DLC always just expands the life cycle of a game, and I'm already asking for it, and the game come out a week today.
So
So isn't that saying something that probably wasn't worth the 50 quid?
Probably not, but for the experience I had at the time, I felt like it was.
There are some games though that you play like one single player run through, and it takes you 12 to 20 hours, and it costs you 50 quid. You know, when the first game comes out, and you're like, worth it, 100%. Like the storyline was so good. You know, like let's say BioShock games of old. Yeah, if you played the BioShock games, they're really good. They're single player. You can play it once and you can play it again, but you're gonna get like, you know, you may get different ending and whatnot. But you're not gonna do it straight away. You're not gonna go bang and then bang. You're gonna wait a few months or whatever. But you're still happy that you spent that money because it was such a good experience. Do you feel like this was such a good experience that you would, like, let's say they come out a sequel tomorrow, are you paying the same 50 quid again? Do you think?
No.
Okay.
Precisely, so probably wasn't worth it then.
But I think the way that I think a lot of Pokemon people, and I've looked at it as it's got that obviously Pokemon tag to it, and obviously you've always known Pokemon. There's always more to do end game. It's very in depth. There's fucking hours, and I've put over 2,000 hours in Shield alone. So I think you kind of go in the back of your mind that there's going to be so much to do. You're going to put so much time into it because it's Pokemon. But I think you just have to look at it. It's just a campaign game, really.
I think
a single player story game. That's it. Yeah, they have got end game stuff, but not really. Like, I think
The-
that's how
the
you got to class
only-
it. It's just a story mode game. That's what you're paying for.
The only online interaction you really have with it is the scoreboards and trying to get the #1 scores. And if you want to try and grind for the best scores in it, then that's the only replayability that you can get, is to try and go through it and get the
It's
best of the
almost-
best pictures. Right?
I think people set their expectations too hard because, like Dan said, of the Pokemon tag on it.
Yeah, and I think
So
as
they-
well
they
with
were
Snap, it's because of nostalgia of the old game as well.
I see.
Yeah.
Of how
I would
good that
disagree.
was back then.
See, I would disagree with that point that, we're expecting it based on the, nostalgia of. No, it's a new Pokemon game, and there are currently so let's say there's 3 different types of games, yeah? So you've got the ones where you've got a normal story mode, and then you can elongate it after, your Pokemons, and you can at top of my head, a GTA single player, you can get all the collectibles after. There's a thing you can do, and then you can complete the game as such with another 50 hours after, like min-maxing the game and getting all the achievements, blah blah blah. Is there that element to it where there's a life after the story mode where you can go back and get all the secrets and whatnot? Really? I genuinely don't know. I haven't watched enough of it, but it feels a bit like it's a 20 quid game.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing you can do is, and this is for those that haven't played it, is get 4 pictures of all 214 Pokemon. So 4 pictures of every single one of those. Then get all the
Once the
stars
courts are-
diamond, which is like the Pokemon's best pose. And then there's kind of little mini Easter egg steps to get X amount of legendaries. I think there's under 10. And then that's it. Mine high scores, mine away from that, just solely on gameplay. That's it. That's all there is to it. Once you've done that, that's it. The end. You can't really do anything else apart from high scores.
Then I think with where the Pokemon games, people started to speed run the old ones. So they figured out strategies to beat the OG red, blue, green in the quickest time possible, and I think that helped red, blue, green stay relevant, if you know what I mean, for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Because more people were trying to, because there was an after game almost that the players created by attempting speedruns and attempting to complete the games the fastest. But with Snap, it's almost like, how far can you go after you've actually done the game?
But at that point, that's the players expanding the life cycle of the game, not the company giving the game its life cycle instead, like other games have done.
A game doesn't set out to be speedrun, if that makes sense.
No.
A game's
The player
set
does
out
that,
to
don't they?
slowly, build a story, and and then you've got some twat that finishes Skyrim in 8 minutes, and you're like, oh,
I think
fuck me, that's ruined it.
actually, I think
It's fucked.
so. So I think Spelunky 1 or 2
Oh,
are
what a
on
game.
which actually,
What a game.
if you went through a floor quickly enough, next floor was guaranteed to have no curse.
Mm-hmm.
So they help out the speedruns a little bit. So
Yeah. My question for you guys, obviously all massive Pokemon fans, is how does this make you? So this release of Snap and what it produced, how does it make you feel for the Diamond and Pearl remakes and obviously the new generation game that's coming out? Does this make you feel positive about what's coming in the future, or are you a bit like, if they're not willing to put as much
If the
effort into
graphic qual-
this?
Well, no, if the graphic quality is similar, if you get the same kind of graphic quality in the Diamond Pearl remakes as what we got in Snap, then the graphic quality is going to be top tier. But
from
as
what we've
for-
seen, it's flipping Tubby style, isn't it? Where
See, for the Legends of Arceus, I'm looking forward to that because that seems like a complete change, something we've not had from Pokemon before.
Mhm.
I am nervous because I don't even see it from a nostalgia point of view. I've never played Gen 4 before. Well, I played a bit of Platinum, but that's about it. But my issue with it is, for a lot of people, is it going to feel like the same game reskinned? and that will die very quickly if it is, because it's be a case of we've been here before.
Counterpoint
But the
though.
thing is-
Oh, go on, Alpha.
I was gonna say Oras was the same kind of thing though, and it didn't die out quick for those that like really enjoyed original Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Oras was a great game. Like
Oh yeah, it
I
was.
like it. If like honestly, if my cart wasn't broke out there right now and I couldn't get it to fucking work, I'd be playing Oras probably right now because
Great fucking game.
I grew up like I started playing on Red, Blue, and Yellow Legends, not Green. Green was only in Japan.
Oh yeah, Red Blue. Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
But
I never played Gen 1.
yeah, see, I started on like Red, Blue, Yellow, and went on up through, but fucking Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Emerald in particular were like my bread and butter games. Like I loved Hoenn. Hoenn was one of my favorite regions.
See, I'm worried
So-
about the fact that are they gonna shiny lock the starters because like at the selection screen and make you have to breed for them, because they did that in Sword and Shield, didn't they? You couldn't soft
They did.
reset them at the
But
beginning.
since there's a new creator,
It's hard to
just
say
tough
to
game
even
for it,
spectate on that because, like Link said, we've got new developers behind it now.
Yeah.
What was your counterpoint,
Yeah.
Spuddy?
My counterpoint was going to be how, like, from what I saw of the interaction in Snap, it seemed like really, like, almost what we were talking about in terms of personalities of Pokemon. You know, you get to see them, you know, interact with others. You know, and it seems to be like a really animated and, you know, like interactive world at that point. If they can harness that and the battling side into this Arceus game, if maybe this Snap is an experiment to make Arceus incredible, if that makes sense. Like they transfer all of
Imagine
Snap.
that as a hybrid, bro.
Yeah, they basically transfer all of Snap over into a game where you can battle. Like even me as like a not like huge Pokemon fan in comparison to you guys, I'm like that sounds dope. Do you know what I mean?
That'd be
like,
sick.
Yeah.
Like
That
the
would
Pokemon
be-
encounters, like in the wild, like they're not just in random patches of grass; they're in their habitats,
Yeah,
doing
and they're fighting
their-
each other. And
yeah, they're doing their
whatnot.
normal behaviors, and that'd be so sick.
So maybe it's just so you could almost justify the money in that respect. You're like, yeah, this is an experiment for the next big thing. Do you know what I mean? Like this is a prototype that they're now going to implement
Makes
into
sense you
bang.
say that though as well, because that's what a lot of us, I can't remember if it's been confirmed or not, but that's what a lot of us thought about the wild area in Sword and Shield. It's not it's a great fucking idea. It's not very well polished. When you're connected online, it's laggy as fuck, blah blah blah. But is that the first footprint of them testing it to see how it is, how it goes, how fans receive it for future projects? Like you're saying, could Snap potentially be that for the Legends of Arceus game?
Because if there's a certain point that the Nintendo hit and Game Freak hit where they combine the online element of Sword and Shield, so that whole like wild area you can see each other, and they like master that, you know what I mean? They really tweak it and make it perfect. And then you've got the interactiveness of Snap alongside that as well. That's in my head anyway, the perfect Pokemon game, surely. You've got interactiveness with, you know, one another. You can do, you know, the Dynamax stuff together. You know, you can obviously make that better, but you can battle together and then you can see all this stuff happening around you. That's, you know, imagine if you're like with your mate and whatnot, and you're like, look, there's a Dragonite fighting with a fucking Lugia over there. Have a look. I'm sorry, poor choice of Pokemon probably, but
Dragonite
get
and
the
Lugia,
idea.
yep.
yeah, but no, but the point stands. If you're with people and you're seeing stuff that's, you know, exceptional, like, you know, the stuff that's not happening all the time, you're seeing something new. You know, you can see like, oh, that even a little thing like, oh, you see, there's a Squirtle and a Yan Mega fighting or something. I don't know, whatever it is. But they could be your two favorite Pokemon at the same time, and it could just be a laugh. Do you know what I mean?
But
Like-
even with like Snap as well, you had to do certain things to make Pokemon react in certain ways with, say, like each other or the environment. They could do even like little quests that you could do with you. Like they can match 4 people together like they have for Dynamax Adventures. They could set something up like where you've got to do a quest it even could be just for the legends, for example, or just the beastie Pokemon, where you got to do some sort of step over some stones, do this, do that as a team, to be able to experience two Pokemon doing something or opening up somewhere where you can see another Pokemon. There's so much potential for them to do that.
So if we're going off with like Sword and Shield being the tester, I know it was implemented in Heart Gold to Silver, but then taken away. Do you reckon that the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra were tested for 3D models following you? Then
I think so.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
It seems like it because they didn't
Yeah.
scrap it for the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Like their whole maps was kind of wild area esque, weren't they?
because I know they had it in Heart Gold to Silver, but they weren't the 3D models. They were the sprites that were following you.
Yeah.
But
So-
and as well, it's better technology, so they can actually test shit like that now.
Yeah.
Now they can push the
I
boundaries a little
think
bit more.
that's what included Bowser's Fury in the new in the Super Mario 3D World remix, just to test out how well do you think a game like that will fare in as a full AAA game, not just a DLC. But if you know.
Do you like from a personal point of view as well? Like obviously, with Nintendo bringing out this week Mario Party multiplayer, which is what I don't know if anyone's seen that as well. Mario Party is like a really fun like party game, but
it's amazing.
It's been 4 or 5 years where it's been a single player only game, which is an absolute joke. And they only brought out multiplayer, I want to say this week or the week before. I'm slightly worried that this is a trend from Nintendo where it's like bring out something, give it 3 or 4 years, then bring out the actual cool stuff after. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that's not the case for the Arceus, because the Arceus game does genuinely feel like it could be the revolutionary moment in terms of Pokemon games. But I'm also slightly worried that it's got the potential to be, and then they kind of go, we're going to give you like 10% of the stuff we can do. And then later on.
In the Arceus trailer, wasn't there like video footage of the character rolling and throwing Pokeballs as it was rolling?
Yeah,
so could that be another? Could that be a test feature that
Discord. Sorry for guys on YouTube. We're doing this through Discord. Discord's having a fucking seizure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the wild area and like the 3D models are following you are a test for Legends Arceus. But then, like the character movement with the rolling and the throwing Pokeballs in battle, is that a test for something in the future, or?
For me though, as well, Nintendo always seem like they're in the past, like they're behind a lot. Like you see all these new modern games, say like your Call of Duties, your Fortnites, whatever, even other shit, down to like Diablo and fucking Path of Exile. Sorry, Spuddy. They update the games frequently. Shit gets changed very often. Not years down the line, it's weeks or months down the line. Nintendo don't really fucking do that at all. Like they haven't caught on. Like every other company isn't necessarily copying each other, but they're taking inspiration from each other and realizing how one company's doing it right, so they're gonna take that approach. Nintendo don't. They're still stuck. It feels like they're stuck fucking 5-8 years ago.
Yeah,
I know it's a completely different game, but like even Minecraft do like a better job updating because they push out like updates to like maybe two or three updates a year, even if they are like small like feature ads. Like this year we're getting 2 updates definitely. We're getting the part 1 and 1.17 in the summer, which is like all the new blocks for the caves and
all the cave systems changing and that.
Were supposed to come
it's
up.
just Nintendo just feel like they don't do anything like that. They're just so, even down to graphics on Pokemon games. Like we had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Like if you look at the background on them games and compare that to another video game that was out, it's not fucking great. In all honesty,
Not
I know
great
it's
at all.
Pokemon, but come on, man, it's 2021 now.
Do you think that Nintendo listens to their like audience?
Yeah, I mean they've got loads of people that do market research and whatnot. I'm sure that they've got people that, but there's See, I'm about to say something that could be controversial here. I think that all game developers are really struggling right now in terms of they've got all these people asking for a certain amount, and they can't physically do it, or they've got things that are like attached to them that means that they're like contractually obliged not to do it. Because every company right now is struggling. If you think about it, you've got like Rockstar. They haven't produced GTA 6 now. What, in like 8 years it's gone going, and they should have this game done by now, and it looks like it's probably going to be another 5 years. Yep. You've got Epic Games really struggling with Fortnite. Fortnite's not what it used to be. They're relying on skins and whatnot, really, because their recent updates have been bang average. You've got Warzone that just had a new update that everyone's saying is absolute shite, and they also haven't worked with their hacker thing that they've got, because hackers are just like roaming
way too fucking long. They ain't got an anti-cheat system. That is a joke that they don't have.
Exactly.
That.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking it might be a case where these developers and whatnot have just not got, where everyone's in a pandemic and can't be brought together in the same studio. They've got a real issue where they can't
bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah, all these things are coming together, and they just can't. They can't impact it straight away as much as they want to, because I don't think that there's a game developer right now that's really flourishing, if that makes sense. Like, obviously Activision with Warzone is probably like the best in terms of commercial success, but they've also got a lot of fans that are getting pissed off with them like quite quickly right now. They've just bring out an update that everyone's like bang average to. They've still got people playing because it's realistically like one of the only battle royales relevant right now for like anyone over the age of 18.
The better one.
Yeah, over the age of 18, you're not going to play Fortnite like regularly, probably. And it's the only other option you've got, because PUBG hasn't done anything in fucking 5+ years. And all the other ones that have come out just haven't quite hit the mark that Warzone has, because obviously they've got an influx of money that's ridiculous behind it. Exactly, and a cult following. But there isn't a game developer right now that's hitting the top marks. Like, Ubisoft have been irrelevant for a good while now. You've got it feels like we're hitting a generation right now where indie developers seem to be the way forward. And it seems to be simplifying games is actually what we need to do, because it feels like everything right now is, right, we need to do this, this, and this and make it crazy good, but there's just not the technology for it yet, maybe.
They're always trying to beat that bar, can't they? Like, you set the bar so high and everyone's trying to beat that bar. And you're referring to indie games, probably like how Fall Guys started, probably how Among Us started.
Yeah,
games made by a couple of people that
back to basics.
Incredible. And it wasn't high graphics, it wasn't complicated controls, and it was just real good fun.
Real good game design. That's it.
I have two games that.
It was simple. That's what caught people.
And a lot of people have fallen for it, and we all loved it. We've all played Fall Guys. We've all played Among Us. Yeah, and they're just two examples. There's so many more.
It was simple to pick up.
I think I have two more good games. Valheim blew up. But I think
Valheim, that was another indie game.
Valheim, Team of 5 sold like 2 million copies in 2 months. Absolutely blew the sales. You recently Luck Be a Landlord. They play a game as basics, just.
If you look at Steam's most sold at the moment, what is it? It's like some fucking Rust, all of the Survivor games, the Forest, all the little like from smaller companies that are making games that people are like, yeah, that's a good game design around it. Like, that's what we want to see from a game. It might not be the most complicated. It might not look like all of those games. They don't look the best, realistically. You know, they're not 10 out of 10 graphics. They're not, you know. Let me think of a game that's come out recently. There's probably been a new Assassin's Creed out recently that looks prettier than all of those games, but it's a shit gameplay. So they're like, nah, you're all right.
No,
Phasmophobia, that's another great one that I've literally not long been playing. I'm late to the party, but that's an indie company. It's not groundbreaking graphics. It's simple, but it's a lot of fucking fun. Like, a lot of fun.
Yep.
Isn't Dead by Daylight as well like huge right now? Which is another game that isn't relying on a huge amount of graphics. It's just relying on having fun with a simple game design implemented well.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like we're getting hit with, and we're all being naturally attracted to. It feels less like we've kind of done the era of the last 10 years, which was we need to push the boundaries. We need to make these games like look as pretty as possible, like Battlefield, and you had like the what's it called? Like all the other games that
even like Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead was a good game, but man, I used to love playing Red Dead back in the day.
All of those games like get put to the side realistically when you've got a game that you can replay a lot because it's a fucking good game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like The Last of Us, for example, is a perfect game where it's incredible, but people aren't going back to that every week. Whereas these games that have got this good core design, they're coming back to it all the time.
No, actually, open up the best selling on Steam is Resident Evil, the new one, The Village, with a big 9-foot tall vampire lady. Apparently some good outlaw game.
Did my guy just say a 9-foot tall vampire lady? No, thanks.
Oh,
zombie lady.
No, Danny. Trust me, you see this fucking 9-foot vampire lady, and you're gonna become the same kind of shrimp that the rest of us are for her. Okay?
Yep. Then there's also there's Arma 3, some multiplayer game. Valheim, Grand Theft Auto 5 Premium Edition. It takes
GTA
two.
still does bits, to be fair, but
Scrap
GTA is
the
doing
camera.
well because of GTA RP role playing.
Yeah.
That's why GTA is still up there, say like on Twitch on the high viewer list, because of the role playing, how people have changed it, and they pretend to be a police officer, they pretend to be a paramedic, they pretend to be a hooker or whatever.
It's the same with Minecraft as well, isn't it? Like it basically took people to take that game and be like, right, I want to make a story out of this game. I think especially nowadays when you've got Dungeons and Dragons, for example, being so popular, I think people clung onto that and realized, how can we take that seems such a foreign idea to a younger generation and for people that are like, outside of that like theme and make it cool. And I think that's what the GTI, and that sounds really harsh on the Dungeons and Dragons, but realistically, if you're from an outsider looking in, Dungeons and Dragons isn't cool. Do you know what I mean? Whereas that, it felt like, it's something tangible we can look at, and it's like, modern day for the GTA version. And then Minecraft is so accessible to kids that you're like, 100% I can get on board with that and make my own world and make it visual rather than just Dungeons and Dragons, which is all in your mind. And it felt like people saw that concept of story making that everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people are into, and went, how can we make that but visual? Because there's a lot of people that unless they've got something in front of them, we're in a TikTok generation right now. Unless you've got something there in front of you that you can see, it doesn't interest me. You know what I mean? No one's reading books anymore, for example. I mean, so... and it's pretty cool how it's actually like transitioned to that now, I think.
I mean, you say that, but I still read.
Nerd.
So I think any game that has an element of like creativity and allowing players to do what they want with it will always do well. Because as you said with Minecraft, it's like, sure, you could try speedrunning it, you can create your own hardcore survival world where you make like massive projects despite the fact that if you die, you lose everything. You can do online series with other people where you interact with them and create content from that. You can get servers which have their own like prisons and like all that stuff that kids play. And it's like, there's so many little variations from this one game that you create something that's timeless. It's been 10 years since its release, and it's still as popular as it was back 9 years ago. It's mad.
Yep.
It's like Tommy in it, who's absolutely killing it. 16-year-old kid. I follow him on Twitch. I used to watch him because I was learning about why the fuck he was so popular and whatnot. And I can see the appeal behind it because they create good stories and that. And he's a funny lad. But I was on Twitch the other night and he went live and he peaked at like 190,000 viewers. Like Nick Merckx is good at what he does with Warzone and he's like up there as one of the best controller players, and he's got 60,000 viewers. A 16-year-old kid playing stories on Minecraft shits all over his viewers. It's insane.
I've actually seen over 300K.
It's fucking
I was gonna say
mad.
I've seen Nick there a couple days ago. It had 140. So like,
it's fucking insane. Like, just people more likely want to watch someone creating a story in a basic game. Really.
Yeah, because
I would
it
argue
shows...
this though. Oh, it's on, Shiny.
No, you go.
I would argue this, that like throughout the history of YouTube and Twitch, those that really harness the viewership of younger audiences, like really younger, like 16 and below, they do the biggest numbers. And the reason for that is that there are people from the ages of 10 and 16 have so much more free time than those 18 and above. So you get it. If you pander to that audience, you are going to get more views than those that that have a debated conversation like this, for example. Like, you're not going to get many 8-year-olds.
Perfect.
That are like fucking,
I'm turning into a family-friendly streamer, and I'm going to be playing Roblox from now on. Perfect.
Roblox. I tell you this: Roblox with your kids would bang.
Yeah.
Right?
I can imagine.
Would bang. Okay.
I think it actually make good content, because they'd embarrass the shit out of me, because I wouldn't have no idea what's going on. Whereas they're
1,000+
fucking
views.
wizards.
Yeah.
Honestly, they come down
1,000+
telling me
views,
all this
easy.
shit. Oh my god, they're absolute wizards at it. I have no. They come down getting all hyped about some shit they've unlocked, and I'm like, oh yeah, well done. I have no idea what they're going on about.
Yeah,
no fucking idea.
I think
Thousands
also
of views.
it depends. Also depends on like the game you play on Roblox, because there was this game back when I used to play it called Pokemon Black Bronze, but it got all Pokemon games got clapped by Nintendo on.
I will say though, Roblox is another good game for letting people be creative as well, and almost make their own games.
Because you can
their
create
game.
your own games on there.
Like, that's one thing that they do really fucking well.
It's really Roblox and Gary's mod, the two pinnacles
Yeah.
of that, aren't they? Like, in terms of just you
but,
look, we've got a core here. You take that and make whatever you want with it.
It's like kind of what Phoebe said before, though. Like, if game companies kind of let you create what you want, then it's going to do better.
Yep.
Like Black Ops 3, for example, that died out. Black Ops 4 came out. It was the new shit. Everybody hated it. I'm on about zombies, by the way. And it wasn't all that. People went back to Black Ops 3, but only because Treyarch enabled modding on their game. So then people was able to make custom zombie maps, which completely changed it. So a game does get more life in it if the devs agree, yeah, here, have some tools, have some fun with it, create what you want.
Yep.
And they do bits.
Yeah.
Roblox, Gary's mods, fucking Treyarch with their mods. More
Yeah,
companies
but
should do it.
again, that's because they let people do what they want with it.
I think one of the reasons why Pokemon's been downtown is because they force people to do that in that order, nothing else.
Yeah.
There is a counter argument though as a developer, yeah. So you've got, as I said, you've got this. You can make these sandbox ideas where anyone can create anything off them, but the point is that you've got one £12 game that you sell, and that one £12 game, they can then make 10 games off. You know, you can play XYZ from that, and at that point, you've only made the £12. Whereas if Pokemon, if they make that one 40 quid game and they replicate that, not replicate it as such, but they've got Sword and Shield, and then 2 years later they make out Diamond and Pearl remake, and the next they've got that constant generation of new income. And if they mod that at any point, people might be like, nah, do you know what? I'm stopping here because I've got this game that they can just copy everything from that into a new game. Do you know what I mean? So as a game developer, like Mojang, for example, haven't made a second game. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've got Minecraft and they've stopped there because they realize if they do anything else, do you know what will happen? Minecraft modders will make that new game in fucking Minecraft. So it's at that point, it's pointless.
Yeah, they'd be fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't, once you make that sandbox game, you are limited to, I need to sell as much of this sandbox game as I can and make it like, I need to make it relevant to new audiences every single year. Whereas if you make a new game every 2 years or 1 year, you don't have that same limitation. You can just make it, and then you get the same. You just get less income because not as many people are buying it, but you get repeatable. So in terms of business
But the
model,
thing is too with like take Minecraft for example is like not only do they keep like their content up to date with like the current generation, like they update it every year and that kind of stuff. Like they're always doing maintenance on their servers and keeping everything relevant. They have additional income because you can always just go and get whatever skin. You can literally get whatever skin pack you want for Minecraft. Like I know for a fact that Heidi has a Steven Universe skin pack. Like that's in a very obscure uh, television show, really, and like there's a skin pack for it on Minecraft. Like you can get your big ones too. Like you can
But
get
then
your
you can
Mario
also
one.
there's also this thing. There's also a way you can create your own skin. So
Yeah,
it again is letting them basically the buyers do what they want with their character.
can I also say though that Minecraft is the exception? It isn't the rule. Minecraft has banged, and it has banged for like 12 plus years. But there are so many games that have tried to be Minecraft that have failed. Minecraft,
Oh, yes.
Minecraft was the first, and therefore it's like YouTubers, yeah. So if you're the first there, you've got that monopoly because you've already got the people. So you make new content, people love it. Whereas if there's someone new and they make the same new content, no one watches them. You're a game and you make a new sandbox game, and you're like, this is great, and this is probably better than Minecraft, but you're not Minecraft. You get 1,000 people playing you, and then they fuck off because everyone and their mates are on Minecraft. It's the same with YouTube channels. You know what I mean? Like you've got someone established that you can watch, and even if it's slightly worse, you've got 1 million people to watch it along with. It doesn't matter. You're going to just carry on with that. They are the exception to the rule, and I think that even Terraria has had limited success in comparison to them, and they're obviously a fairly similar vibe in terms of what they do as a game. And I can't think of anything else that because there was other games that tried to replicate Minecraft that couldn't do it because they didn't have the same audience. I think it was like a Cube World game, I want to say at one point, that came out. There's been others as well. There was like I think on the PS4, there was a game that was like a Gary's mod for the PS4 where you could make your own levels and you could, I think it was called Dreams. I want to say Dreams. Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was like no, it was Thieves. You've heard of it, right? It's like it was like a Gary's mod for PS4, essentially.
It's like a sandbox sort of game where you just create anything. Exactly,
yeah, and it had limited success because it was the only one on the PS4 that could do it. But it wasn't Minecraft. It wasn't Gary's mod. It was something that was new, and therefore people are only going to give it so much time before they're bored of it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like, and that's the problem that you've got now. It's gaming and media, like, you know, gaming and YouTube, for example, they've got this same problem as TV had. If you're something new and you're not with you're not with a partner or something like that that can, you know, generate views for you, if you're something new and you don't have that hype around you, you've got to generate that yourself, unless you're exceptional, you're going to fall behind. And that's just the way it is. And it's the same for games. It's the same for videos. It's all media right now. Unless you're established, the fact that like, is it IGN that's the gaming like reviewer?
Yeah.
The fact that they put out shit articles constantly, but still get the most views out of everyone, shows that all you need is a big name. You don't need to be good. Yeah. Once you've got there, once you're at the top, it's very hard to get knocked off from there.
Yeah.
And unless someone exceptional comes along that does it perfectly, which is very, very rare, you're going to be there for a good long time. And it's the same for YouTube. It's the same for, you know, there are so many YouTube videos you watch where you're like, that was fucking shit afterwards. But they've got 6 million views because they're from a guy that made his channel back in 2008 when there was about 7 YouTubers ever. And therefore they've got everyone in their fucking nans watching them. And you're like, right, that's it. I'm going to watch them because I'm vaguely invested in them. And it's been 12 years. I can't be asked to research new people. I'm just going to go with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same with games. You know, you're not going to go to a new developer when you've got, you know, Nintendo making a new, you know, like Pac-Man 99 came out. Loads of people downloaded it because it was Nintendo making a Pac-Man game. Of course I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to give it a whirl. Whereas if a similar
try
vibe game, if a similar vibe game came out, but it was made by the guys that, I don't know, made Rayman, for example, people are going to be like, oh, I might try it, but I can't be asked. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's levels to it. Yeah.
No, I think in terms of, I think there's something about human being, or something about society who thinks that if it's popular, it means it's good. I think that's the problem. That's the root of the problem. Human thinks if it's popular, it means it's good.
It's
Yeah.
How many films have you watched? Yeah, that have come out from the likes of DC, Marvel, you know, and whatnot, that have been bang average films realistically. That you've been like everyone, but they've made like, you know, 100 million in the box office because they're made by those developers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like no, not I'm
Thor:
gonna sound
Dark World.
biased here. I'm gonna sound biased here because I like Marvel, but flipping DC, they did the Justice League. The first Justice League they released was meh. But then but that was because the producer wasn't given the free reign to do what he wanted to do. But then he released his version after, and his did way better than the original did because it had the character building and everything. So could it be the top people of these companies holding the games back from what they really could be?
Could be.
yeah, because and this is the reason
100%.
for it. Yeah, so if you're Nintendo right now, you're like, right, we've got two options here. We make a game that is like we discussed earlier, where it's Arceus, but you've got the interaction of Snap. You've got the Sword and Shield Outworld. You've got that interaction between. You could make it all dungeons. You almost make it like World of Warcraft. Do you know what I mean? All of you go and you go and have a little quest, and then you go and get a fucking at the end a Zapdos, and you're like, wow, sick, right? You could do that, yeah.
Yep.
And you make $15 million. Or you can make a remake of Diamond and Pearl and make $14 million and put no effort into it. So you've got no developers that have had, like, not no effort, but you've got relatively zero effort. You've not got to make you've not got to like make a new design over it. You've not got to make a new system, like a new engine, none of that. What are you as a business going to do? You're going to make that $14 million because you're like, for the sake of 1 million to make a better game, I don't care. I'm making money. And that's the harsh reality of it.
The thing is, us as I know, fans, we're still gonna buy it at the end of the day.
Who's the real mugs? That's it. And it sounds horrible, but it's like the cream doesn't rise to the top anymore. It rarely does. What happens is the cream that's been there since 2008, they rise to the top.
Yeah, because they've been there longer.
Yeah.
It's so crucial for game developers and game designers to actually listen to the audience. I think, again, linking back to Minecraft, but they do the little polls every year. It's like, which biome do you want to be updated out of these three options of the little thing? And people actually vote for it and have a say in what they want to happen with these games. RuneScape as well.
But then
games that don't have that, the only like actual influence you get is people on Twitter, and then even then it's only like when it's like a lot of people saying something that they actually take notice. Take Nintendo with Smash, for example. Okay, they did add Minecraft Steve and Banjo-Kazooie this year, but there are still so many characters that people are saying, please add this person. There's so like little communities dedicated to trying to get this character into Smash. Bandana D from Kirby is one of them.
Like Waluigi.
Waluigi, yeah. And it's like, they don't listen.
Phoebe, going back to your point about Minecraft, the recent cave update that's coming wasn't even part of a vote. It was like
Yeah,
It
that
was
just
the
listens to
community.
you.
It was like it started off as a YouTuber making a joke out of it, like every video, and it just caught on. And
Mhm.
Microsoft and Mojang realized that if they want it, why not give it to them?
Give it to me.
Because it's at the end of the day, it's going to make them keep playing
More
the game
money.
and making us more money.
It changes everything up. Like
Yeah.
caves are now completely different. They look insane. I've watched the Zoomovoids videos, like showcasing how they generate. It's insane.
Mountains go up to like Y200 now, and then
Yeah.
the bottom is like a -62. You
It goes into negatives.
and it brings a sense of freshness to the game as well, because you get bored doing the same old mining every time. Whereas with the new update, it's going to be something fresh, because nothing's going to look the same anymore. You're not going to have like just pure stone granite walls. You're gonna
Yeah.
it's almost like it's urging you to go down and get those resources, but it's also saying make sure you're prepared for that, because these places are dark and big, and a lot of mobs will spawn. And if you can't fight, then clearly,
Yeah, you get
like
straight.
they're introducing like a new boss, and they've even said, like, because people have asked them, what are you going to do about people like trying to cheese it by building up and just hitting it like they do with Iron Golems? They went, well, we've got ways to work around that, but we're not going to tell you yet, because if we tell you, you'll figure out ways to get around that as well.
Yeah.
It brings another layer of problem solving into the game, which in turn makes people come back
It's
to the game.
freshness as well.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question to everyone?
Yeah.
What do you think is the best game that's come out in the last 5 years?
5
It's
years.
5 years.
That's
Should we go in order?
That's
So
a
should we
really
start with Alpha? Should we start with Alpha? That makes sense. And then go round.
That's a really hard question.
Because I don't think like our answers are going to be as good as we realize in comparison to previous generations. Like, as in, like, not generations, but as in, like, our 5-year bracket compared to 2011 to 2016, blah, 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 keep going back. I don't think our answer is going to be anywhere near as good. I'll be honest. But what do you think?
I don't know.
Because there's two things that can happen here. There can either be a sequel that's really good, in which case you're like, fuck me, that's not even an original idea. Or it's going to be a game that realistically is actually quite, in terms of like production value, is not great. And they're the only two games that have come out in the last 5 years, I think, is either bad sequels, not bad sequels, sorry, good sequels, or games that are original but basic.
Like
That makes sense.
I'm going to say
What
something
would you class-
controversial. I'm going to pick
Go on.
mine. I'm
Go
going
on.
to pick mine.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably Fortnite.
No, I'll probably agree with that.
Yep.
No,
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 I
no,
can-
no,
but-
wait.
I'd agree with that.
Wait,
it did
is that
something.
is that in the right time scale though?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it is,
Fortnite's less
Yeah, I
than
think
5
so.
years.
Is it?
Yeah.
But
I'd say
I
Fortnite
kind
then.
of agree, because it
Not so
it
much
hit the
anymore,
mark.
but back, like, not
When
back,
it-
but I played a lot, and I mean a
Yeah, when it
fucking
first
lot
released-
for a few years
when it first
as well.
released, it was good when it first released, because everyone was at the same skill level and everyone didn't know the game. Because hell, if you go back, I know Ninja's not on Twitch anymore, but Ninja started. He couldn't do like anywhere near the stuff he could do if he got on now.
Can I say this as well?
Good then.
Everyone needs to remember what Fortnite was.
Yeah,
It was a bounce.
I know
So
what I was gonna say. I know what I was
Fortnite
gonna
had
say.
this game. They saw PUBG and they were like, we need to copy it. That's what Fortnite was, by the way. Fortnite wasn't an original
Pretty
idea.
true.
It was bouncing off the back of PUBG being so popular that they were like, fuck me, we need to get in on this. And they had
but
a Save the World idea that they made into a battle royale that they weren't expecting to kick off, that just exploded because everyone was desperate for newer battle royale because it only had one.
I read an
Well, two.
article. I read an article once, but years ago, about it. They got their inspiration from Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
who did?
That's
Who
where they
did?
got their inspiration from.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
That makes
Yes,
sense.
but
But no, if you
I-
But I'd
I
say
was
that
gonna
is
say, I
one of
think
my
for-
favourite games in the last 5 years, hands down.
No, I respect it 100%.
But then you got, yeah, like suppose you said it piggybacked off of PUBG, but it also introduced something that no one had ever seen, where you could
Oh,
physically build. It added,
100%.
Do you know what I'd
It
say though as
added-
well, Spuddy? I thought you were going to say it's because it's simple as well. It wasn't high
True.
detail graphics. It was
yeah,
a simple
100%.
cartoon. That was it.
There has been no successful game that has been graphics based. There has been not one. People keep thinking that graphics is the way forward. There has
No,
not been a real
it's
successful
gameplay.
game. I think the most successful game that focused a lot on graphics was probably Breath of the Wild. Genuinely.
Yeah.
I don't think any other game that has its sole purpose has been to look pretty as one of the main two focuses has done well.
I remember.
People do not care about that anymore. They are beyond looking pretty.
No.
They want good gameplay, and that's it.
I remember
See-
when Dan played Breath of the Wild, he got killed by a tree.
That makes sense.
See- You say that, Spud, but for me, one of the best games that I've played, I'd say probably in the last 5 years, has probably been the new God of War.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So
So a sequel.
That's a
Shout.
good game.
No, just a sequel, a remake, essentially.
well, it's a continuation of a story. It's not necessarily a sequel. It's a
If you want to do
New
that,
line.
yeah, fine. But the whole point
But
is
yes,
that it's not an
yes.
original idea. Yeah.
no.
Link,
it's
what
the
would
next
yours-
chapter in a continued story. But yeah.
Oh,
Link, what would yours be?
Uh,
No, we've done our two.
no, it's probably if from over quick glance, the most I've probably spent most time in is probably Pokemon Go.
Yeah. No.
Do you
that
know
was
what? He's not wrong. Do you know
Original
what?
idea.
It's not an original
Pokemon Go,
idea.
yeah.
If you want to go mobile games, what about Flappy Bird?
Oh, fuck off. Jesus Christ.
How didn't that get copyright
Hey.
strike by?
No, the guy
that-
took
that-
it down
that-
because he
Right,
couldn't
took it
handle
down.
how much money he was getting. He couldn't
Yeah,
handle it.
he actually took it down
That
because
old
it
chestnut.
was too people were spending.
I don't know why, but I remember reading
Ad
something saying
revenue.
it was getting like sued because of the pipes in it. It looked like a lot like the Mario
No.
pipes that the
No,
creators of
but
he
Mario
yeah,
took
were.
it down. 'cause
They
he
did
couldn't handle how
everything.
much he
No,
was
it was
getting.
actually more of a the creators original. They was send to some quick game you can in one-handed quick game you can play while waiting for the boss or whatever. But it turned, but I think it, well, my off memory says, but some became too addictive. People got spending too much time playing that
Yeah.
game.
Oh, it was fun.
I want to say the one game in the last 5 years that I think has changed not has changed the gaming world, but has been such an influence that has been a new idea implemented really well from a developer that's not well known. I think that's Rocket League.
Yeah.
I don't
that's true, though.
think that anyone's come close to that idea, so that it wasn't stealing of anyone essentially. Which it sounds a bit harsh, but
No,
others have
Well, they-
grabbed the idea and
Rocket League's
Ro-
an
Ro-
improvement on the
Yeah,
on the
Rocket
sequel to
Power.
it. There was,
Yeah,
there
Rocket
was,
Power
there was a sequel to
something.
it, but it was like a worse version. I'll have a look. I'll see if I can
Not having it.
see
I'm
what
not
it's
having
called,
it.
but-
They copied off Top Gear. Not having it.
Actually, I haven't played.
To me, all Rocket League is Fortnite and FIFA had a three-way with friggin'
Okay, you're now talking about
Need-
such bizarre
no.
content, such
No,
bizarre
think
concepts.
about it. Fortnite and FIFA had a three-way with fucking Need for
Bro,
Speed,
that's-
and boom.
Yeah,
That's Rocket
that's
League.
putting three concepts together, yeah? That's like me going, oh, yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just combine MPA 2K12. I'm then going to combine that with, hold on, let me grasp one from over here, Forza Horizon. And then I'm going to, hold on, pick one over here. Let's say, what's another game, people? That's like, and then go for the Lego games. And I'm going to combine them into a game. And that's a piece of piss. No problemo. No, it takes a lot of skill and like good
Speaking-
game development to make a game
Speaking
that
about the
makes
Lego
sense.
games, speaking about the Lego games, didn't they release like a Lego game after, like based on like the Lego movie?
Yeah, actually, really
Yeah.
Dude,
too.
it was actually
But
Almost
sick.
certainly.
can I come back to Rocket League? I think
But
it's an improvement of their previous game, Rocket Power Acrobatic Car, something like that.
Spuddy
Yeah.
sequel doesn't count.
I've actually played it on the PS3 at the friend's house, and it
It
feels.
was
Well,
called.
no one played that game. Doesn't count. Okay.
I've actually
Right,
played
Phoebe,
it.
Phoebe. Before we get too
Oh,
sidetracked,
oh.
what would you say your favourite game is in the last 5
Grab
years?
Man from my shelf. I know I've not even fully completed it because I kind of got sidetracked with exams and whatever. But I would 100% go with Persona 5 as my favorite game from like the past
Persona
5 years.
5,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
big.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it was so new to me. It was my like first ever RPG kind of game, which has really focused on like story.
There has been-
It's incredible. I'd recommend playing it to anyone who hasn't.
There's been a
It's so
lot
good.
of really good story-based games though, but I feel like they've all been the same vibe, which is as difficult as possible. There was Sakura. Is that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying that right.
I've seen
That was I've watched that a lot, and it looks like a really really good game. But again, it's like that Dark Souls vibe where if you're going to be a single-player game, you've got to be next to impossible. Because at that point, then people will play it. If you can just run about and shoot, people get bored within 5 minutes. No, I need to make it a challenge for some reason. It needs to be as challenging as possible. And I feel like Dark Souls, Sakura, all those, like Demon Souls, the remake and whatnot, they've all got the same vibe, which is just, this is going to be as challenging as possible. And therefore people will play it. Whereas it seems like if you're a simple game that you can just kind of plow your way through, people won't play it again. Just mental for single player games. Do you know what I mean? Like you would lose all these eras of like God of War and Lara Croft and BioShock and all of these games would be gone now in this era. They would be so far like just down the pegging order. They would all be gone. Realistically, if Lara Croft came out now with a perfect look and all the button like all of it was implemented perfectly, no one would play it because the point is it's too boring. I don't think that Uncharted would pop now. And Uncharted is one of the best franchises in video game history. I don't think it would do well now in today's world.
Legends, what about yours?
See, I'm torn between two you said, well, the two of you said, Rocket League and Fortnite, because I've played both, and
You got to pick one.
like, see, I think Rocket League, like, if I was basing it off like now, like these times, because I play it more, because I enjoy it, and
Yeah, but look at the last 5 years as a whole. Like, what's the game that stood out to you in the last 5 years? That's why I said Fortnite, because that's when I... Shameless plug, like Alpha said in chat, on twitch.tv/IamDJK, where I stream every day. That's where I started streaming, was Fortnite. Yeah, I might not do it anymore, but looking back over the last 5 years, that is one of the best fucking video game experiences I've had. Like, I look at it as a whole.
I think Fortnite is one of the best, to be fair with you, because when it came out, it was so simple. It was
so addicting. It was so much fun.
You could play with your friends. It was like, and it gave a new spin on Battle Royale, because never before had you been able to like build cover and like build your own shelter from.
You saw like online viral videos of like these lads sat around this other lad playing Fortnite, and he gets his victory royale, and everyone's like, "Hey, go on!" Because like when you get your first victory royale, it's an epic fucking moment. Yeah, it's fucking huge.
You get a reward for it as well. You get like the season umbrella for when.
Yeah, you get an umbrella and that, so you get a reward for it. Yeah. What would yours be, Spuddy?
What's that? Sorry.
Favorite game in the last 5 years? Like you.
Oh yeah, Rocket League. I did say. What I would say as well is that do you think that every game's got to have a real difficulty element to it nowadays? Because as you said before, there's you just spoke about Fortnite, and the whole point is you're essentially fighting 100 to 1 odds. Yeah, 100 players, you're 100 to 1 odds. You're talking all the single player games that are good, the Securas and whatnot, really difficult games. Rocket League, to get up to the higher ranks, it takes you hours and it takes such a grind and whatnot. There are very limited simple games as such, even ones like Mario Maker that's come out recently. Whole point is you've got to be mental good to do those mental levels.
I'm sorry, can I pause you, Phoebe?
Go on.
What for? What?
Mario Maker. Are you forgetting what you did to me? Are you forgetting what you did to me on that game? What you made for me? What
Guys.
you put me through on that game?
Guys,
Fuck
guys,
you.
I mean, they weren't that hard.
Guys,
To me, they was. It was impossible. There was a water level. There were fucking spikes everywhere. Oh, all kinds of shenanigans. Oh, Discord has crashed again. We're having Discord issues. It's not us ourselves. It's just Discord. Are we back? Are we
Okay,
back?
good.
Yeah, no, this
We're
guy's
back.
just
Yeah.
goes for
Everyone's
we're
coming
back.
back.
We're back.
There we go. It's just Discord. There we go.
Dan.
So yeah,
can I
sorry,
say
Phoebe,
something?
but fuck you.
Can I say something, please?
What?
Talking about games, yeah. I just lost the game.
Oh, fuck you.
I
Legend.
just lost the game, and everyone
You-
watching on YouTube has
just
probably
lost
just
it.
lost the game.
I'm not.
Great.
You're welcome.
Delightful. But yeah, can anyone think of a really simple game apart from Animal Crossing that's done well? recently?
Celeste. That's been
Yeah.
massive. That's an indie game again,
Yeah.
but simple tower climb thingy. Good little story elements to it as well. Been huge.
I don't know why, but there's this game that I play. Like it's like an AFK game, like for the time. It's called Adventure Communist. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
basically-
I played it. I played it.
That's
It's
one of
a-
those
it's a
shit
clicker
games
game.
that you always get ad fors on another game and you never fucking click it. This guy fucking clicked it.
I actually played it.
Oh, come on, Discord, man. I'm so sorry for those watching on YouTube.
I
It's
got
just...
both.
Discord's having a mare.
My
Yeah.
Discord has
Back.
struck.
No, it's hard.
Yeah,
we're
It's
back again.
Discord in general because like my connection's
Yeah.
fine. Like all of our connections are
I
fine.
don't
It's
need
just
to net
Discord.
people, man. I'm good.
Same.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
It
just
is.
Discord struggling today. Of all days, of all times.
Of all days.
Can I point out this as well? Can you think of like two like indie games that have done really well recently? So there's is it Not Falling Out or whatever it is? The one that's like you got to climb up with a pickaxe.
I wouldn't even.
The-
Oh,
You're
yeah.
sat in a barrel, aren't you?
Yeah, every
Getting over it.
single big YouTuber, for example, has played that game, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
At least once.
So there's
Okay.
that, and then there's it called Jump Hero or something like that, where you've got to jump, and then you fall down, and then you end up like you got to like do little jumps.
Oh, is it
onto
like
stuff.
a pixeled-looking game?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
played it. That, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's another game that's absolutely popped off. Guess what the theme is? Making them as hard as possible. Okay,
Wait,
people love that shit right now. If you're a game developer and you're thinking of making an easy game, cancel it. Okay, just abort mission completely.
Even for content creators, that's great for content creators to play an impossible game
because it
you
lasts
get to
twice
see
as
'em
long.
Yeah, and you get to
Yeah.
see them frustrated, which
Well,
makes
Yeah.
the other people
they-
watching find it
You know
amusing.
you know the KSI played that game where you have to climb up with a pickaxe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we got the infamous sound alert?
No, that sound alert is from that game that Spuddy just mentioned.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not
Yeah,
the
no,
hammer
it's a
one,
jump.
but
It's
the
like
jump.
a Jump Hero or something like that. It's called.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
Jump King,
one with-
possibly.
The one where you have to like climb up and you're like in a barrel and you have to like hook
No,
on
no,
stuff
not
like
that
a
one.
pickaxe.
Another one. It's the other one.
But
He did not
Yeah.
that
If
barrel
you're
one.
in a
You've
cauldron,
got
it's
to time the
game
amount of
over.
jump. Yeah, you've
Getting
got to time
over
the amount
it.
you jump.
That's that barrel one called. Getting over it.
It's
Yeah.
actually cauldron.
Thanks, squad.
it's cold when you have like a pickaxe. You have to swing
Yeah.
and climb. That
But
game
yeah.
released 2017. I thought that was like out 2012 or earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, say.
I'm glad
That's
I've never
mad to
played
me.
it. I'm so glad I've never played it.
Spuddy,
Put myself through.
Yo,
do me a favor.
go on.
Pet the lamp.
Anyone that's new on
Oh,
YouTube, anyone
I
that's
was
on YouTube, this is
expecting-
normal. All right, this is normal.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
He's,
yeah.
he's just fucking
This is
mental.
This is
He's
not
got an
normal.
affectionate for his lamp.
Yeah.
I didn't even start this. Okay, you cunts. I didn't even do
Start it.
this. Yeah.
Who did
But yeah.
start it, may I ask?
He must not be named.
Oh my god, no it was. Anyway.
Who's that?
Should we?
Wow.
Do you lot want to move on to like? Because obviously we're talking a lot about games, and we're like an hour and a half in. Do you lot want to do the
Yeah.
little Ask Me Anything section? So I'm
Yeah,
going to
do
give
it.
you
Go for it.
some of the
Sure.
questions that
Yeah.
are from the New York Times article, which is the 36 questions that lead to love. So we're all going to fall in love here.
course.
It's
Oh,
going to be beautiful.
brilliant.
But the point is, it gets to know
Buddy,
you all a
don't
bit
fall in
better.
love with me.
Absolutely no promises, my dear. No promises.
I know no one's gonna fall in love with me. It's fine.
Not with that.
Me
not with,
neither.
not with that spot, anyway.
If you're
right.
wondering, right there.
Yeah,
We didn't need the
by
graphic
way,
detail.
No one was wondering. We've all seen it. Right, let's go with. So this is from set 1, which is like the beginning of the falling in love process. So, given the choice of anyone in the world, dead or alive, whom would you want as a dinner guest? You got one person to come over to your house as a dinner guest.
We'll go in
Who are
order
you
again
having?
like we did before.
Yeah. So go from A to S. So Alpha to Spuddy.
I'd say. I don't know. I think I'd go with someone like a real intellectual, like.
Oh, thank you, mate. Honestly,
Like-
Me to that.
I was gonna say like Neil deGrasse Tyson or possibly Stephen Hawking.
You're pronouncing my name really badly here. Do you like that?
Spuddy, you might want to get a hearing aid.
Yeah, it's all right.
Old age ain't treating you well, mate. Is it?
All right, spot boy.
Fuck's
Okay.
sake.
So that does make sense. To be fair, that could be an interesting. So you'd want to go for an interesting chat during your dinner, basically.
Yeah.
You want to just pry questions on them constantly.
Spuddy already knows my
Well-
answer, and I'll just gaze into her eyes.
Riora?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next.
Dan's
Who's
a pervert.
Riora?
Yep.
Rita Ora.
Yep.
Rita Ora.
Next.
Lemon.
Yeah, she's a female pop star who Danny finds a certified 10, basically.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, do you know who she's currently boning? I don't know if you're allowed boning on YouTube, but I'm going to go with it anyway.
Wow.
Do you know the director of Thor Ragnarok? Have you seen him? I think his name is Taika
Waititi.
Yeah. They're banging. How unbelievable is that?
That's actually sick. I like her even more now.
Yeah, mate. He's
She's
like
definitely
52 as
coming
well.
to dinner.
Yeah, he's like 52 as well. You've got a chance, Dan. Just saying.
Wow.
Fuck.
Okay.
Hey, he's only got a couple
Okay.
years on you.
Yeah,
Next
but
turn.
can we continue with if you were blah blah blah? I'll probably pick with some big head in the science world, like
Oh, okay.
Newton, maybe even some Greek philosophers, Einstein, Stephen Hawking, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Love some big, even Euler in mathematics discovered so many formulas that they started naming the formulas of the second person who discovered that. So
It's funny how these two pick
Big brain.
someone really sensible and really intelligent, and I'm a shrimp over here.
Yeah. And he's like, I want to see the movies.
I'll probably pick Euler.
I want the movies.
Dan,
They're very
I'll
nice.
probably pick
I'll be
Leonard
joining you.
Euler.
It's fine,
no?
Dan. Dan, I'll be joining you. It's fine.
Go on, Phoebes, what about you?
Phoebes, yeah.
I was gonna think maybe like someone intellectual, but no, I think I probably would go with the lead singer or just people from a band that I listen to. Honestly, it's hard to pick one, obviously, when there's so many people that you listen to and you like
No,
and you like want
You
to
have
meet.
to pick one.
If I had
Really
to pick
come down
one,
to
in
it,
all
if you had to
honesty,
pick one.
I wouldn't go for the main person. I wouldn't go for like one of the massive bands. There's a band I listen to who I love, Sincere
Phoebes is going for
Engineer.
Ringo. All right.
No, Sincere Engineer. They're like a small Canadian, I think, punk band. Started about 3 years ago. Not that big, but just fell in love with them. Absolutely insanely how much passion they put into the music. So yeah, I would want to meet the lead singer of that band and the bassist and stuff.
So you'd just be a big fangirl then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. What about you, squad?
Don't call me squad.
Fucking hell.
How dare you call
It's
me
because I looked
squad.
at my chat. Looked up at why Splatty was saying, hold on a minute. I saw squad, and then I knew we needed to ask you next.
All right. What about cunt? Go on.
Yeah, come on, dickwad.
You know, Ariana Grande.
Bro, she's old enough, but she still
Fucking
looks
child.
12.
Child.
Not gonna lie, you know when she used to play Cat in Victorious?
Nope.
No. What's
Not a
Victorious?
scoop.
What's that?
Oh, it was basically a TV show back on Nickelodeon, like when I was like 8 or 9,
I'm
no,
clearly too old.
10 or 11. I was 10 or 11, and Nickelodeon and Victorious was on it, and there was this redhead called Cat, and she's played by Ariana Grande, so.
He's even blushing
I-
as well.
I might have had a thing for Cat when I was younger.
He's blending into his shirt at this point, just going red. Red.
What about you, Spuddy?
I'm going for one that I think would be a good in terms of my personal interests, as well as I think would be a good intellectual conversation. So I'm going to go for Muhammad Ali, because I think it'd be interesting to learn from, because I'm a boxing fan, to learn the ins and outs of him as like a boxer, and also to learn about.
Now.
Also, yeah, you are really stupid. And also to learn about the like ins and outs of like the racism issue that they had at the time, and you know what he had to fight against. And there was the whole thing about Vietnam, because he said that he wouldn't go and fight at Vietnam. And the point is that he's like, if people aren't fighting for me as a black man, why am I expected to fight for my country, which doesn't support me? And so I think that would just be a really interesting, like, good chat to have with someone that's like really influential in history. So I'm going to go, and also, and serves my own personal interests for boxing as well, because it's a sport I love.
Yeah, it's a good chat.
So,
can I change one?
I know it is. I've thought about this before.
Can I say who I'd have in a second? I'd actually have like Jake Paul over just to ask him why he's such
right,
a twat.
Spuddy, next question, please. Next question, please. Spuddy, please. Allow it, please.
I'd just have him over just so I could ask him why he's such a twat.
He doesn't think he's a twat, though. He thinks he's sick.
Yeah.
Right, next question. Come on, next question.
Right.
Okay, then I'll slap him in the face.
My next question is, would you like to be famous? And if so, in what way? Would you like to be famous?
Would you like to be famous? Follow this link right here.
Yes, I would be famous for it.
You know what? I don't think I would really like to be, famous. Like I'm a content creator too, and like everyone wants to, everyone who does this on some level wants the dream job of like making it a professional career and being able to support yourself off of it. But at the end of the day, I don't think I ever would really want to be like a household name. Like I think that it's just not something that would be for me.
Daniel?
Why did everyone just go quiet?
Well, wait with Dan's answer.
Because I know, but I'm on the fence about it. Like, I'd say no. I don't know, man. I don't know. Fuck it, yeah. I wouldn't mind it.
You'd like to be famous.
I wouldn't mind it. I think.
How do you think that you would react being recognised in a shop, for example? How do you think that you would react? Do you think that you would be embracive of it, or also have a minor panic attack? How do you think that you would react to paparazzi, for example?
Yeah, fuck that. I don't want to be famous. Link.
that was so easy to convince folks.
If I'm gonna famous is for something good in mathematics, physics, chemistry, whatever. If I'm gonna famous, but no, depends on generally in a more of a niche subject. So then I can recognize on the street like, hey, you're that person, more like, okay, can I get set more like, if I get recognized more, so how did you tell me a story about yourself and how did you
can't
manage?
decide how you're famous, Link, all right? You're famous or you're not famous. There's that it, okay? You're either Brad Pitt or you're nobody. Right?
It depends on what famous I am and why
Brad Pitt,
am
nobody.
I famous.
Pick.
If I'm famous for committing a war crime,
Brad Pitt, Link.
God.
If something, I don't know, depends on the situation.
What about you, Phoebes?
100%, yeah. And for
Really?
like making
Phoebes is
music,
going for it.
yeah, just straight off. That is literally my life aspiration to be like famous in a band or something. So
Phoebes is so tall she can just look over the paparazzi as well. Like, here right now.
true.
Yeah.
Just body block them. But
What
yeah,
about you?
no,
Oh, Legends just disappearing.
Legends is gone.
Oh, I can just see his leg. It's fucking
See the
disturbing.
leg.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
It's
What about you,
so
Legends?
See, I depends what I'm famous for.
No,
It
Brad
Doesn't
Pitt,
matter.
nothing.
Could you handle paparazzi constantly taking pictures of you as soon as you leave your house? People asking you questions all the time. People recognizing you when you're buying your milk at the shop.
Probably
want that?
if it's for something that I've done to benefit the world or something. Like I don't want to be famous for like making
Fucking
movies or
Nobel
whatever.
Peace Prize over here. Fuck
I
me.
just want to be famous for
Well,
something
I
that
say
Discord again. No.
anything else, and it's just not the same.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess I crashed again.
What about you,
No,
Scuddy?
I'm 100% being famous, mate. 1,000,000%. There's not a doubt in my mind. I'm.
He'd be
getting
like
all-
flicking his hair back and all sorts of shit.
Honestly, I would do
Something
this.
like you have here in the first place.
But I would literally do this. Yeah, I just invite people into my house, and I'd be like, "Look, I'm famous. You've got to come to me." I'd get them all in. I'd have a little party every now and then the rest of the time, I'd just pop out and I'd be like, "Look, I'm famous. I can't go for a Sainsbury's. You got to get the Sainsbury's to me."
He
Yeah,
proper
I'd-
milk it.
100%, I'd milk it. I would
Hang on, did you-
embrace that lifestyle so
watched-
much. I'd love
Dan,
it
I watched
every
the video.
second.
I watched the video the other
Can
day.
I pause?
But,
Can I pause? Link, turn your. Oh no, wait, it's cut back up. Never mind. Continue.
You know One Direction. You know what used to be One Direction, yeah.
Mm.
Basically, one of them apparently like a couple years ago, one of them tweeted like when they woke up, going, "Sucks to be wake up and you can't have a cup of tea because you got no milk." Yeah. And apparently, like 10 minutes later, some old woman was banging on his door with his milk.
The dream. Oh,
Oh,
the
it's
dream.
It's funny.
That's brilliant.
Mate, as I said, I'd want to be like, I'd want to be Brad Pitt famous as well. I'd want to be that level. I'd want to have to do nothing. I'd want to walk into a place and they serve me, if that makes sense.
We can all dream, buddy. We can
Like,
all dream.
I don't ask for a drink. They just bring drinks and they're like, "Which one do you fancy?" And I'm like, "I have my pick from there."
Anyway,
We
enough
can-
of this big-headed twat. Next
By the
question.
way, hey, when can I come back to my point? If there's paparazzi coming to me every time, definitely no, because I want my private life. I want
There
I
you
want my little personal bubble that where I can just be myself.
No,
feel safe.
I guess your personal bubble would be in your house. Otherwise, if they come in your house, they'd be trespassing.
But
so
no,
your
but
personal
also,
time would be in
oh,
your house, and then
go.
whenever
No,
you
he
Well,
just don't
Twitch
want
merch.
people in his face all the time.
Yeah, I'd wear
but
Twitch
every
merch, mate.
time I
Be
see
fine.
probably people sitting in trees using some high-tech cameras to look at what I'm doing at every moment. Like that's not.
Yeah,
I want
Link
my
could
personal
be
life.
banging someone and they could have a silhouette picture of it through the fucking curtain or some shit. He don't want none of that. Whereas Spuddy's like, go on, take a good picture.
Mate, I want them putting a mirror in front of me because they're like, "I need to see you twice." That's how important you are to my life. That's the level of famous I
You're
wanna be.
Oh
outrageous.
my god, Spuddy.
Alright, okay, so the next question is, what would your perfect day be for you? So you got a perfect day. What are you doing throughout it?
Losing my virginity.
Wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
Right, next question, I suppose.
I don't really.
Answer that after what he's just said. Go on, Alpha. Try it.
I mean, I didn't have an answer beforehand, really. Like,
Yeah.
not one that I could really say
That's
right
so
now. But
fucking bellend.
Yeah, no, I.
Dan, yours?
Mine
Everyone's
would
just
be
Taking Shiny Legends virginity. Got it. Right.
gone.
no, what the fuck? Hell
Next.
no. Nah, I'd probably spend the day at Old Trafford. Well, just watch another game at Old Trafford. That'd be me. Happy days.
When was the last time you watched a game of football?
God.
Last time I what?
Watched a game of football from start to finish.
From start
On
to
TV.
finish was probably City.
When
Like
was that,
United against
1980?
City, the derby this year.
1990. Oh, this year. Okay, cool.
Fuck you, dickhead. But yeah, that'd be me, and I'd be quite happy with that.
I respect. That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
But for
Link?
me, probably no. If of course it'll be summer, and probably just waking up in a while camping. I like camping. Just waking up in my tent. Just,
Hammock.
no, not hammock and tent.
Imagine a
Tent
hammock.
and
Oh,
sleeping bag. That's a dream. Just wake up
that's
maybe
not a
like
dream.
yeah,
Oh,
four
wake
to
up
six.
That's
and
his
sleep.
dream,
Wake up
no?
to be around around 6 a.m. Walk around the cold grass. Take the leak. Walk back in. Wake up from my that's the dream.
He's
really
planned
good
this
start
out.
day.
He's planned this. You could tell he's planned it.
Yeah, I really like camping. So after that, you spend find a good beach or whatever. Just go. Don't think about time. Don't think about lunch. Just be in the moment. Just look. Find some interesting stuff to look at. Whatever. When around dinner time, you go back home. To a tent. Make your food. Eat it. And
Oh, Discord, man. Why are you letting us down? That was story time.
what about it? Just chilling. Not worrying at all.
Just put his mute.
I respect it.
Fair
I
enough.
respect it.
I like that.
Yeah.
The bit I like the best, which I can get behind, is the fact of he said going down the beach and don't think about time or don't think about anything, just live in the moment. People need to
Yeah.
do that more on a reel though. So I
Yeah,
can
but
back that.
Problem is, not that many beaches though. You know what I mean?
Not
So,
in England.
Nah, running out.
But no. Well, but if you really no. Also no. And is it just me that finds some walking on cold grass in 4 a.m. good?
That might be
Funny.
just you.
Bro,
isn't it?
what?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're walking around at 4 a.m.?
Yeah, when you wake up in tent, just you have to pee. Just put on your flip flops, walk to the toilet, and just
That's the least enjoyable part of camping. Is
Bruh.
walking around when there's dew on the floor, on the grass, and you're in flip flops, just your feet getting soggy, just like,
But-
oh fuck, this
But
is disgusting.
when you come back to a tent,
Plodding along to some fucking urinal that people are pissed all around because they can't miss because it's 2 a.m. And your feet in that and being
You're
like,
crushing
oh,
the poor man's dream.
oh god, going
but
for a whack.
Buddy, then
Getting
it's
out,
the
not shaking
feeling-
properly, and having to sleep in the
Buddy.
boxes that you put a couple of drops in, and being like, "Oh my god, what a
Buddy,
disgusting human!"
The feeling of closing down your zip on your sleep bag and falling down is amazing. Okay.
What? Closing a zip? You could do that all day. You're in the dream
the
scenario right
feeling.
now, Link. You can do anything you want.
Buddy.
You could unzip and zip as many things as you like. Okay.
But it's bad. It's just a feeling of I'm outside. I'm moving. I don't sit inside
give
all
you
day
outside
on my butt, just doing nothing. I
Yeah, but then you
wanna-
got to walk through other people's piss, and it just ruins the visualization. Do you know what I mean?
Not
What
gonna
about you,
lie,
Phoebes? What about
hang
you?
on.
Trying to push forward.
Probably similar to what I did this Monday actually, which was just met up with a few friends. Oh, Alpha's gone.
Prepare
Shit.
He's back. Met up with a few friends. Got like food in town, and this was whilst it was tipping it down. By the way, it was absolutely freezing on Monday in Lancaster, but got Mackey's. Then walked up to a park, still raining, went under a gazebo and just sat and just vibed for like 4 hours with them. Incredible. Just basically a sesh. It's just fun. Just doing stuff with people
Nice.
you like and can bounce off of and relax.
I bet that
That's
felt
what my
nice
perfect
because
day.
of I bet that felt nice because of COVID and like
Yeah,
you
for sure.
As
you
well,
probably haven't
yeah.
seen him in a while.
Oh yeah.
Not doing that
Oh,
for so long, just brilliant.
Go on. Yours is, we've answered yours, haven't we? Sure.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have.
onto you, Spuddy.
Onto you.
Actually,
Let's-
no, Spuddy, going back to your point about like camping not being the worst part of it is walking to the toilets. It actually is because I've been told that I have to go on like a camping trip for my course, college, and basically, if there's no toilets, we've got to dig a hole, take a dump in the hole, and then
Bro,
cover
there's
the hole
nothing
back up.
dreamy about that, is digging
See,
your own
like,
hole
that's,
for
no,
your own shit.
that's just basic behavior. That's just how you should act in nature. You just make a hole for it. Just-
I'm gonna say my dream day, and it's the correct answer, just so you know.
No, there's no
Um,
correct answer unless it's mine.
That's what you think. I
Unless
wake up
it's
at 9
mine.
a.m. I wake up at 9 a.m. I check my phone at 9:05 a.m. I realise that I've won £10 billion at 9:10. So I am now the world's richest person. I now own the world essentially. I just won like the Euro millions. Like it's just a monumental number that no one can even fathom. So I'm now the world's richest person. I then just get a load of people to like literally just hold me up for a day because I'm like, yeah, you can just lift me up. That's great. Just have me on a
Right,
little throne.
pause you. How are you going to
Right.
convince them to lift you up?
I've just paid them £1
Money.
million each.
No, you
because I
haven't.
now
No,
earn
you haven't.
1,000
You've woke up. 5 minutes later, you found out you won. You can't have access to
all
your
in
money
my bank
yet.
account. No. This is the dream scenario. All in my bank account straight away, and I've just pinged them.
But
each
within
£1 million
5
quid.
minutes, it's in your bank.
Dream
That's
scenario.
Are you mad?
Dream scenario. So I just hold them. I want them to hold me up for an hour to realise that I am now the king of the world. I then get a load of like people that I look up to come over for a day, and I'm like, look, we're gonna have a party. It's gonna be a big one as well. You lot can all just come over.
Where are you having this
I've got-
party? In that room?
Doesn't matter. Okay,
Dan,
I'm just
Dan,
gonna get
Dan.
a big
Dan,
ass thing. It's gonna be all the people I want.
Wait,
know
let
what
him
my dream
finish.
day
Wait,
is?
let him finish.
No.
Let him finish.
Day-
So all the celebs, all the family, all the people I know I want, and the best part is that all the waiters and the little bitches are the people that I hate as well. So they're
Am
getting
I
paid
included in that,
incredible amount of money, so that makes them happy. So I don't actually feel guilty, but they're
Am I
big
the
little
waiter?
bitches for the day.
Am I the waiter then?
So, and then we have a party that goes on to like 6 a.m. in the morning. It's amazing. I've got like my favorite comedian, like I've got like Kevin Bridges in the corner, just giving me personal like jokes the entire evening. He's like calling me Shagger and whatnot. It's amazing. I've got like my favorite band in the corner because I've just paid them 10 mil. They don't care. I've just reunited Oasis, and they're in the corner over there. Doing, like, just
You
doesn't even matter.
reunited Oasis, did you?
You.
I've given them
Single-handedly.
500 mil, mate. They'll do whatever I want for that
Good
evening.
golf. I
Okay.
look like a golf one now, but can I-
Yeah, I've got them. I've got like I've got like what's his name? What's the Russian dictator's name?
Putin.
Putin.
Vladimir
Putin. I've got Putin. I've got Boris Johnson hugging. All right, that's how. I've got these people over here, and they're all embracing. I've brought them all together. I've single-handedly brought world peace. I think. Do you know what? At that point, I think I could sleep and say that is the best day that I could imagine. Yeah, I can confirm.
You're
Can I
fucking
change
mental,
mine?
you are.
Yeah, I
best-
would also have a happy ending at the end of that evening, just to be clear. All right.
My dream day is the day Spuddy decides to shut up.
But see, Legends, just because you don't have such a wonderful voice as he has,
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
refuse to accept it.
Man.
If you like, that is the best day.
thought
Just to
about
be clear. Yeah.
Yep.
This is one of my dreams
Let's
for a
talk
while.
about that.
Things. I've been applying for the Euro Millions for so long and not won yet. I'm very confused.
Because you're trash. All you've got to do is get good.
Just get good at gambling, you know.
Get good at
Oh,
gambling.
I wish that was possible. Oh, I wish.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm gonna wrap up because that I can't. The thing I can't get my head around is the fact that normally it takes you a week or two to get your money. You're like, nah, 5 minutes, don't worry, it's already in my bank.
It's the perfect day, Dan. I didn't say that it was a logical day. It was a perfect day. Okay, I could have also chucked in. I've got the ability to fly for 10 minutes, and I just flew about.
Dan,
I mean,
Dan, it's not a logical day. It's not a logical day. That's why I said lose my virginity, because it's not logical.
oh yeah, good one.
Before that goes anywhere, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all next week. See you all next time. Bye bye now.
Cheers, people.
Bye.